Mind-driven. You become a slave of your thoughts. Limitations/defects of senses lead to false beliefs/wrong views/wrong knowledge/wrong actions. Mind-driven means something is motivated, influenced, or controlled by one's thoughts, ideas, or mental processes rather than external factors or emotions. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Focus on internal processes. Mind-driven emphasizes the role of internal mental activity in shaping actions or decisions. Examples of mind-driven actions. Idea-driven. A project or initiative that stems from a creative concept or vision. Data-driven. Decisions or strategies based on the analysis of data. Goal-driven. Actions are directed towards achieving specific objectives. Contrast with other influences. Mind-driven can be contrasted with emotionally driven, where actions are based on feelings. Or externally driven, where actions are dictated by external factors or demands. Synonyms. Other words that convey a similar meaning include thought-driven, intellectually driven, or rationally driven. From where we are there is always a path toward love. What takes discipline is continually choosing that path. Jesse Pender. I have had an epiphany recently, and it was shocking. I realized how much my life has been driven by my mind. I thought I was free. I thought I had control. But really I had been a slave to my thoughts, just like a puppet on a string. The source of the problem. The signs were evident, but I hadn't put all the pieces together. I often felt stressed and pressured. I have to do a yoga practice, I have to accept that next client, I have to keep everything in order. Things looked pretty good on the outside, but I realized how much I had been resisting people and situations. I would think, I want him to want what I want, not what he actually wants, or I don't want something to be in the way of what I want. Get the commonality? It was all about me, what I thought should or shouldn't be happening. What about a quiet walk on the beach or the space to just be? What about listening and letting life unfold? These are the things that got put on the back burner while my thoughts were leading the show. It took a week in silence to reveal the problem. And here is what I discovered. I had been living a mind-driven life. All the troubles, the stress, the doubting, wondering, and confusion. The source of all of it was letting thoughts drive my life. The lovely effects. It's been just over a month now. Why I haven't been writing here. And the shift has been dramatic. I don't believe or give attention to one single thought. Not one. And the results are no more resistance to anything that happens. Ever. It takes a belief or expectation to resist. No more stress. Stress is based on shoulds, have tos, and musts. All thoughts. No more person who thinks she must be in control. Gail is seen as simply thoughts, preferences, and feelings. There is no real entity that is me. Endless peace. Persistent contentment that never goes away. This doesn't mean that thoughts don't appear. They absolutely do. But my desire for peace is so unwavering that I give them no attention. Like emptying the gas tank, thoughts without attention simply lose their oomph and eventually grind to a halt. Endless returning. I am discovering that thoughts can wriggle in almost undetected if I'm not vigilant enough. When I am the least bit off. Irritable, nervous, cranky. I need to return to my conviction for peace and determine how a thought has taken hold. The hidden treasure is always here. Somehow mind has taken charge, but the power of disconnecting attention from the thought leaves me simply aware. Not aware of anything in particular, but conscious, alive, and oh, so peaceful. Which brings me to the core realization of the end of the mind-driven life. And here it is. Your true identity is not the separate you, the man or woman who you think you are, your needs, preferences, history, hopes, relationships. Who you are is the space in which all of this arises. You are aware presence, conscious and alive. My friend, Rupert Spira, offers the metaphor of a room full of furniture. Who you are is the space, not the furniture. And the space is undisturbed no matter what is in it. Anything can appear. Beliefs, expectations, strong feelings, illness, pain. You, the space, are at peace with all of it. You are infinitely non-resistant to everything, welcoming completely yet remaining untouched. Your turn. If you are interested in the end of your troubles, begin experimenting to make your own discoveries. Take a look to see how much thought controls you and your life. Take some time to be quiet, then see what you experience when you think thoughts and when you lose interest in them. This exercise helps you understand that you can choose peace, always. Notice that no matter what you think, feel, or do, you are aware. Put your attention on the awareness instead of on the thoughts and feelings. Let life reveal itself, endlessly, without your control. Our senses, while crucial for experiencing the world, have inherent limitations, including restricted sensory ranges, accuracy, and the ability to adapt to stimuli, meaning we can't perceive everything. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Sensory range. Vision. Humans can only see a narrow band of the electromagnetic spectrum. Visible light. Ignoring infrared, ultraviolet, and other forms of light. Hearing. We can only perceive a limited range of sound frequencies. Audible range. Smell. Our sense of smell is limited by the concentration of odor molecules in the air, and we can't detect all chemicals. Taste. Similarly, our sense of taste is limited to detecting certain chemicals and molecules. Touch. Our sense of touch can be dulled by cold or injury, and we may not detect very light or subtle touches. Accuracy. Illusions and biases. Our perceptions can be influenced by illusions, biases, and expectations, leading to inaccurate interpretations of sensory information. Adaptability. Sensory fatigue. Prolonged exposure to certain stimuli can lead to sensory fatigue, reducing our sensitivity to those stimuli. Sensory overload. Excessive sensory input can overwhelm our senses, making it difficult to process information accurately. Examples of sensory limitations. Hearing loss. Difficulty hearing certain frequencies or sounds, making it harder to follow conversations or enjoy music. Visual impairment. Reduced ability to see, leading to difficulties with tasks like driving or reading. Taste and smell disorders. Reduced ability to taste or smell, impacting food enjoyment and potentially posing safety risks. Sensory disabilities. Conditions like autism spectrum disorder, ASD, can affect how individuals process and react to sensory information. Scientific tools. Scientific instruments and technology can extend our sensory capabilities, allowing us to detect and measure phenomena beyond the reach of our natural senses. 10 limits to human perception, and how they shape your world. Every human has limits. You can only run so fast, jump so high, and go for so long without water. But what about restrictions upon our 5 senses, those tools that we use to perceive and understand our surroundings? Here are 10 limitations on human perception that have a direct impact on how we understand the world. Vision. About 1/4 of the human brain is involved in visual processing, more than any other sense. Arguably the most closely studied of the 5 main senses, the Society for Neuroscience claims that more is known about vision than any other vertebrate sensory system. 10. Field of view. A pair of healthy human eyes has a total field of view of approximately 200 degrees horizontally. About 120 degrees of which are shared by both eyes, giving rise to what's known as binocular vision. And 135 degrees vertically. Though these values tend to decrease with age. This is due to the fact that both of our eyes are positioned more or less on the front of our heads, as opposed to the sides. Having eyes positioned on the sides of one's head is common in prey species, and while it certainly increases an animal's total field of view, it's often at the expense of sharper binocular vision. See the helpful chart featured here, which shows the differences in vision between pigeons, whose eyes reside on the sides of their heads.